So I got a question on Twitter asking me why I think Samsung is going to release the Galaxy Fold despite all the problems. And that brings up another thought. Who is this phone actually for? And what should we be comparing it to? Well, I'll try to answer all of these questions right after this.
This is, you listening to Travis.
What up, players? Welcome back. And for all you new people, welcome. My name is Travis and I do tech videos every single week and have a blast doing them. If that sounds like fun to you, sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. Anything I talk about will be in the description below. But for now, let's just get into the video. Shout out to Bernard on Twitter who asked me this initial question. I think it's a good one. Why is Samsung releasing this product despite all the controversy? I mean, they actually could pull back, and if they did, this would be the time to do it, not after it gets into consumers' hands. I think there's a couple of reasons why that is, and also maybe we're looking at the Galaxy Fold incorrectly. And I don't mean you're folding it wrong. You savages. Like I said, actually Samsung does have some time to still cancel this project, or at least delay it. There's still a couple of days left. And really, they probably are meeting non-stop trying to decide if they should. They don't want to do it too early. They also don't want to do it too late. They will need to make a decision before the 25th, which is when most things are shipping, and the 26th is when they're in stores. So they need to make that decision very soon. But the problem is, they're kind of in a pickle. It's going to look terrible, absolutely terrible. If they decide to delay or cancel now, they're going to basically validate the issues that happened to those reviewers and those journalists that got the broken Galaxy Folds. You don't necessarily want to do that. On the other hand, you have to protect your customers. So what I'm guessing they're doing is taking those products that they got back from the reviewers, making sure there's nothing structurally broken with these devices, and then carrying on. But I also think there's kind of two other reasons why they're not delaying it either. Number one, they want to be first with a folding phone to the market, and I gotta say that's just not as important as Samsung seems to think it is. I really don't think it's that important, do you? But more scarily, I just think they're cocky. I think they think there's nothing wrong, and they're just bringing these devices back in to validate that nothing's wrong. And why would you stop a launch if nothing's wrong? But in defense of the Galaxy Fold, maybe there's actually more to this than we're actually thinking about. A lot of people have been giving a lot of guff to Samsung for releasing an unready product. Well, it is kind of unready, let's be honest, and it is a first-gen product. And I see a lot of people saying, you can't defend this by saying it's a first-gen product. But I kind of think that people are looking at that aspect of the argument wrong. Most people are looking at this thing as just another smartphone, and it's not. It's not another smartphone. That's not what it is. Much like a Tesla was not just another car. It's a car, it's got four wheels, but that's not all it is. You can't sit there and compare a Tesla to a Toyota and think that they're gonna match up exactly. You can't hold it to the same bar. It's not the same thing. So I think you actually have to think about this a little bit differently. Now, whether you consider this rationalizing it out or whatever, that's fine. We can agree to disagree on this point. But I really believe if you're holding it to a bar of an established product, smartphones, which have been out for over a decade, you're doing it wrong. I really think you are. Just like you can't really hold a Tesla to the same standard as like a Toyota. Like you're not gonna say, well, how many miles per gallon does a Tesla get? It doesn't. And I get it, you'll say something like, well, but the Tesla works. I mean, I think most of them do anyway, and you can't just peel off something to break it. Unless there is, I mean, I don't know, is there? There might be, who knows? And I'll give you that, but that brings me to the next point. What really is this thing? Who is it really for? Let me just get to the point. I'm gonna say what Samsung won't say. And I think it really answers this question in a very definitive way. And whether you like it or not, whether you agree with it or not, I really think that's exactly what the Galaxy Fold is. It is a paid beta test. That's right, if you're getting the Galaxy Fold, you're in a beta test. And warts and all, like, that's what it is. And when you start to think of it that way, it actually makes a lot of sense. You can't compare this to the Galaxy S10, which has had 10 years worth of revisions. I mean, it's at the absolute pinnacle. The Galaxy S10 is amazing, but it was the same type of phone that they iterated on for a very long time. The Galaxy Fold is the first one. So while you might say you can't say that the first gen is an excuse, it kind of is, because it's not another smartphone. It can't be, you can't compare it to that and expect it to hit that same bar. It's not the same thing. It's almost like, could you compare the first iPhone to a BlackBerry? Remember the BlackBerry? And yes, there are definite weird, crazy problems. But there's two sides of that argument. There's many people that say most of those problems were made by the people that use the phone. And then there's an entire other side of the argument that says, well, you shouldn't be able to break it that easily. And they're both right. A lot of the issues were absolutely made by the people who were using the phones, and you shouldn't be able to break a $2,000 phone by taking off a little plastic screen protector thing. That's ridiculous. But if you look at it as being a part of a beta test, it actually makes more sense, and you're willing to give it a lot more leeway. And that's what this is. Samsung will never tell you this, but it's a beta test. So who is this for? I actually kind of talked about this in my last video, whether or not you should cancel your pre-order for your Galaxy Fold, but I'll just really quick go over it for you again. If you haven't seen that video, I'll put it at the end, in the end card. But real quick, there's basically 3 people that should get this phone and everyone else should just stay away. Number 1, you absolutely love tech so much that you don't care about the risks. The risks don't scare you at all and you just want the best. And $2,000 is worth the risk, and you know you'll get your money back, and you're not worried about any of these things that anyone's gonna tell you. No one's going to talk you out of it. Number 2, you have a YouTube channel and need to do videos on it. Or number 3, you have so much money that $2,000 is nothing, means nothing to you. Matter of fact, you're sick of looking at $2,000 because that's how much you usually use for a sandwich at lunch, and you just figured you'd get the Fold instead. So at the end of the day, listen, I'm not making any excuses. This device is not production ready, but it's not supposed to be production ready, no matter what Samsung wants you to think, as a luxury device or whatever. I don't even know if I would call it a luxury device. It is just a beta test. It's a beta test, that's it. So look at it like that. Look at it as a new type of device. Don't look at it as just a phone, don't look at it as just a tablet. It's not. It's a new type of device. I believe this is the type of device that in the future will be able to remove all the other devices in your home. You won't need just a smartphone, a tablet, and a computer. This thing can be all 3. And when you look at it like that, and it's the first one of those, it's not quite so bad. But yeah, you shouldn't be able to break it just by taking off a screen. That's kind of dumb. So what do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Is this device for you? And should Samsung still release it? I mean, I think it's kind of a mistake. I mean, it's a real big risk for sure, but I'm gonna buy it anyway, so you know, whatever. If this video helped you out in any way, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. And if it didn't, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. I'm here every single week, having a blast. Hope to see you again real soon. Peace and love, peace and love. Now, I gotta go get my Galaxy Fold.